Okay, so back with another video here. Mindfulness Coach is the app that I was just opening right now. So this is going to be a video about mindfulness, what it is, and just talking about this particular app called Mindfulness Coach that's available on the Android Play Store. It's a totally free app with no ads and no paid content. So that's something that's really good about it, and I find it a really good app. So I'm just going to follow through the app while explaining what mindfulness is and why you should practice it and what it's good for. So without further ado, just let's get into it. So there's a couple of sections in this. First, let's talk about the leaf on the top right corner, and these are your badges. So there's 14 levels in mindfulness mastery, and I'm at level 1. Though I have been practicing mindfulness, I have not been going through the training plan, hence at level 1, and I'll be just starting off. So if anyone wants to start with me, feel free to comment and come along on this journey. So going back to the home page, this is your home page. So I'll just go into track progress, just to little overview. If you go into practice logs here, as you can see, I have been practicing, and it shows every sort of practice you've been doing every day and goes on and on all the way back to your first one. So it shows you all of them. And if you click these 3 bar line on this 3 bar box on the top right side, you get into a detailed graph of you've been doing, and it has a weekly graph and a monthly graph. So if you look at the monthly graph, it goes back a whole month, and if you can look at that, I've pretty much been doing mindfulness practice almost daily, just missing a day or two here or there, and keeping to a minimum of 5 minutes, and sometimes going much more than that even. And I feel it just calming me, helping me out. So, but we'll talk more about that in a second here. Just going back from here, first let's just get into what mindfulness is. So as you can see, there's tabs at the bottom which you can use to navigate also. So I'm just going to go into the training tab from here. And even if I was at the home page, I could have clicked mindfulness training, and it would have brought me to the same place. So now in mindfulness training, I just opened the first one. So let's just get into that. This is the first level. So as soon as you finish this level on training, the second level will show up. And so it sort of takes you through a guided study course that you can go through. And you don't have to follow the study course if you don't want to. If you just want to practice daily, like I have been doing, you can continue. If you just want to go into the expertise tab and read articles on mindfulness separately, you can do that. But I'll get to that a little bit later. So for now, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness means paying attention on purpose to the present moment without judgment. In mindfulness practice, you bring focused awareness to the present moment. Sensation, thought, or feeling without clinging to it, resisting it, or trying to change it. It involves holding the focus of your attention lightly with gentle acceptance, like a butterfly resting in the palm of your hand until it moves away on its own. You attend to the ongoing flow of experience, gently observing it as it rises and falls. One of the goals of practicing mindfulness is to improve your overall well-being. Mindfulness practice has a number of benefits, but for starters, we know that it reduces stress and helps people feel more grounded. So if you ask me to define mindfulness, I would just say the first part is being aware in the present moment and letting those thoughts go through your mind and being aware of your body and your mind, but not emotionally attached to it. So if something negative happens and you're mindful, you might hear the negative thoughts coming in your head because of what is happening to you, but you won't react to it. Like you can be the butterfly sitting on your hand and just feeling it. You can feel it, but you're not reacting to that butterfly, as you said. So you're in this case, you are listening to those thoughts that are going through your mind and accepting them that they're there, and listening to them and hearing them, but you're not letting it get an emotional rise out of you. You're not getting angry, you're not getting sad, you're not having any reaction to them. Basically, if you ask the practical aspect of why mindfulness is good is, say you're studying. You will be pretty focused if you're mindfully studying, because you are listening to the thoughts and you are processing really well. Say you are enjoying a moment with your family outside of friends. If you are mindful, you're going to remember that moment days later, months later, years later. And those are the moments we normally remember, are the moments that we are most mindful. And then that moment that we had this perfect combination of joy and happiness and being mindful, to where if you look back, you will have these moments in life where you were really happy. And if you just have to think of a previous moment that you were happy, it will come to your mind, and that moment, that time you were really mindful is what it was. So for me, it's that. And also the practice and training involves listening to your thoughts, listening to your senses, being aware of your senses, mindfully looking. So there are different types of mindfulness practice, but the overall goal is just to get you an extra focus, an extra attention. It's like how we work physically. You have physical activity to improve your body. Mindfulness is something that allows you to improve your mind. It makes it stronger, is what I would say. By practicing it, it allows you to be a calmer person. So with that said, let's move on to the next training part of it, which is benefits of mindfulness. So you can just read this. I don't think I need to read it out. I'll just give you a second to read it up, and then I'll just come in with my own comments. Okay, hope everyone read through that. So what I would say is cannot comment on improving blood pressure and such things. I have not experienced those. Like, I have not been monitoring them, so I could not comment on them. But I have definitely felt stressful. If something negative happens, my reaction is much better, to where I'm just calm. And anytime I feel myself getting stressed out, I will turn to mindfulness and practice it, and it will calm me. It will ground me, as it was written in the previous one. It will just bring you down. Like, it just relaxes you. It's like you're taking a break away. When you're practicing the training, it's like you're giving yourself that 5-minute break to just step back and not be so involved in what was happening, to where you cannot be the watcher. You cannot get yourself out and hear your thoughts. You're just totally wrapped up in your emotion and feelings, and that happens to all of us at times. But mindfulness allows you to just pull back. It allows you to just be the watcher and hear those thoughts and see those feelings, feel those feelings, without you having that huge emotional stress of it, or the reaction to it. It allows you to also, one thing that's not mentioned here, but I feel it sort of allows you to process your thoughts. A lot of things happen to us during the day, during the week, during the month, and many times we don't give ourselves the time to just sit and hear our thoughts and focus on our breath, or focus on something else, and just let those thoughts come and let the mind hear them, let the mind process them on its own. And many times you might get ideas, and something might come to you in these moments that would normally not come to you, because you're not giving yourself that time. You're not allowing yourself that time. So with that said, let's move on to the other one. So this is what I practice most, is the seated practice. Again, I'm just going to let you guys read through this and give you a minute to read through it or so. But this is the one I practice the most. It's the simplest one I've found. It's just seated practice. where you're just basically focused on your breath. I'll let you guys read through it. Okay, I think that's enough time to read through it. So they talk about formal and informal training, and I think I did hit upon this. So formal training is when you set aside the time, as they explain, to actually sit and go through the training plan and practice, do the different mindfulness exercises. But it's worth talking about informal training because I kind of hit upon that, is when you are mindful and focused and listening to your thoughts and really in that present moment, moment to moment as you go through the day. It is extremely hard to do, and our minds drift into 10 different directions daily, and there's a lot of menial tasks we do during the day that we just zone out and we're not even there many times. And you can be an autopilot in doing anything. Like you might be driving, you might be autopilot, you're driving, and you have all the experience driving, so you might be driving just fine, but your mind is somewhere else and thinking 10 other things. So you're not really paying in full focus and attention to the road and what is going on around you. You might be thinking what groceries I need to buy or something else. So mindfulness would be you get those thoughts in your head, but you're able to put your focus back on what you're doing. You're able to tell your mind, shh, I'm gonna come back to you. I'm right now driving, and put my focus back there. So you change your thoughts to, looking at the pedestrian crossing, this, that, basically being aware and mindfully looking instead of being lost in your thoughts. And you can do this with anything, as I said, with studying or whatever else you might be doing. You might be working on something in your business which requires a lot of attention. And if you're doing it mindfully, even for a shorter period of time, that mindful work will be more productive and get you further than doing non-mindful work. So it's a question about practicing and training yourself. It's like, as I said, it's training your mind, improving your mind. And if you practice it, it will help you. I have experienced that personally. So moving on from this. So the spirit of mindfulness. Okay, so that should be enough time to have read that. So just a little thing I would like to say about this is that this is what I really like about mindfulness. It's not like you are trying to change your thoughts, change your emotions, change your feelings, or anything. You are practicing hearing them. In fact, you are listening to yourself, which you might not be doing. You are listening to what is going through your mind and giving yourself that time to hear, okay, these things are going, but not taking an emotional reaction to them, just letting yourself logically have those thoughts come and go. And you'll notice your mind is very spazzy. By spazzy, I mean it will jump from one topic to the other, to the third, to the fourth, to the fifth. And you're not trying to change that. You're not trying to stop your mind from doing that. In some of the practices, you might be where you're not trying to stop those thoughts, but you're trying to keep your focus on your breath or something else like that. But during the day, during non-formal training, you are letting those thoughts come. You're being aware of them. Let them come and just accept them, whatever they are. Many times they might be ridiculous thoughts, even. Just no judgment. See, saying it's a ridiculous thought would be a judgment of the thought. So you don't want to even do that. It comes, you hear, it goes. Some other thought comes. So with that said, let's move forward. Okay. So let's rate our level of mastery. So these are 19 questions and I'm just going to run through them really fast, hopefully in 2 minutes or so less. And you can see my answers and then take this quiz on your own after downloading the app. So often true was the first answer for me. Generally I pay attention to sounds such as clock ticking, burst out. Sometimes true, sometimes not true. Aromas, I generally do notice an aroma, so I would say it's often true. Visual elements such as art, nature, colors, shapes, textures. Not always. So I'll say not often true. I find it feels different what's happening in the present. This would not often be true. Generally I'm pretty focused if I'm on something and I don't drift. It seems like I'm running automatic without it. No, I would say this is rarely true. So I'll go with not often true because since I've been practicing it for a while, I feel like I've improved on this. And that might show in the score compared to my previous scores, but not true for me. This is also not often true for me. Jobs and tasks automatically without being aware, not often true. I'm generally present nowadays, at least. There was a time, like, if I'm doing dishes or something, my mind would be not there. Like, I'm not physically feeling myself wash those dishes. I'm not focused there. I would be somewhere totally different. But nowadays I find myself that when I'm washing something, I'll actually be, I'm there, I'm picking up the sponge or whatever, and I feel the texture of the sponge. I feel myself I'm there in that present. I feel the water running on my hands. So that present fullness is there. That mindfulness is there. So I'll say not often true here. I am judgmental of my feelings. I am a little judgy of my feelings, so I will go with often true here. I'm critical of myself. I'm hard on myself, so it's often true that I will be hard on myself if I feel like I'm having some feelings that I shouldn't be having. Yes, to an extent. So sometimes true, sometimes not true. I tell myself I shouldn't be thinking the way I'm thinking. Not often true. I'm generally a pretty logical person, so I think some of my emotions are bad or inappropriate. I shouldn't feel them. Not true. So I'll say not often true. I don't know if it's never true, but definitely very rarely. So I'll go with not often true. I disapprove of myself. Yes, as I said, I'm pretty hard on myself when it comes to not thinking straight or not thinking clearly or having illogical emotions or thoughts. So I disapprove of myself when I have illogical thoughts. I would say this is very often or always true, which is a bad thing because I should let those thoughts and ideas just come and go and not be so judgmental of myself. But I'll say it's very often or always true. I'm good with feelings. I'm good with not getting carried away by my feelings. So, I do get carried away once in a while. So let's see. I watch my feelings without getting carried away. I would say this is often true. When I have distressing thoughts or images, I don't let myself get carried away by them. Probably often true again. When I have distressing thoughts or images, I feel calm soon after. Oh, yes. At least since I've been practicing mindfulness, I find myself, if I do have those emotional moments where I'm, where any sort of emotion, whether it's sad, angry, whatever, or a little bit pissed off, whatever. So I have those moments, I find I recover much faster than I used to from them. It's not like my day is ruined. What they say when something bad happens, like your day gets ruined because one bad thing happened to you during the day, then it's like, oh, my week got ruined, my day got ruined. Those sayings are there. So it's more like, oh, okay, that happened. That was bad. Yes, process. Don't let it affect your emotional being and your life balance sort of a thing. Like, okay, things are going to happen, bad things and good things. So you should not like be a wave. You should not be a wave just moving up and down as good things and bad things happen to you. You should be a straight line which does not get affected by extreme good or bad emotions. Like, yes, you should obviously let yourself take pleasure when good things happen to you, but don't like do it on extreme on either end. And that will help you because you'll be a calmer, more relaxed person overall, because you sort of accepting that sometimes good things will happen, sometimes bad things will happen, and it's not that I should let myself be totally stressed and emotionally and physically, mentally affected by it. So I would say this is often true. Usually when I have distressing thoughts or images, I can just notice them. Sometimes true, sometimes not true. Somewhere in the middle with this. When I have distressing thoughts, I just notice them and let them go. I do notice them. Do I let them go? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So again, I'll go with the middle one here. So let's see. Your score on being observant indicates that you're right in the middle, sometimes observant, sometimes not. This is where many people score on observant. So here is the assessment feedback. And so sort of there's two things here. One is the eye information icon, which explains to you what each category means. So I hope you read that. And then there's quick tips on how to improve on it. So since this video is getting kind of long, I'm not going to go into each one of these, and I'm going to let you guys download the app and get into them. But I'll just finish my results here. Since most of it is self-explanatory, it's just if anyone wants a little guidance, you can. So acting with awareness, as I said, I've been practicing mindfulness, and I think that's where my scores improve the most, is acting with awareness. So it says I do good there. And then with non-judging yourself and being observant, I'm somewhere in the middle. And not overreacting, I'm doing way better with that. So again, I think these are the two categories where I've improved the most by practicing mindfulness over the last 2 months. So let's say done here. And I thought it gave me a score. It's not showing my score. So I'm just going to go into track real fast. And not in practice logs. No, not in goals. And mindfulness mastery. Here, press that 3 dots there. So yeah, there's the score. I don't know why I didn't show the score on the main page. Maybe it did and I missed it. So I scored 13, but if you go to my... So these are the current week scores, and it shows you your scores. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you look at my past 2 month scores, I should have... Oh, I seem to be missing some test here. I was pretty sure I'd taken the test. Maybe I had re-downloaded the app or something. So I've lost my old test. But anyways, let's say, and now this is my score. So and it's a nice graph. So let's just go through the graph a little bit. Ahead of medium slightly here, doing pretty good on this. So the maximum is the high part on the graph, and where you can reach here. You're a little bit below medium and a little bit higher than medium. So okay, so this sort of allows you to so it rates your score on each one of these. As you can see, there's 4 separate scores, and overall also this will be an, so this was not how it was before. It used to be 1 total score. Now they've improved it, I guess, and have 4 different scores, so you can see individually on each category where you need to be working on more, or where you're actually doing really good. So that's something to keep in mind. So it's always good to do this. So here's a reminder that you can remind yourself when to take it, and I've set it for once a week. Remind me to take it. And goal is to where you'll set goals for yourself, to where you choose what you would like to achieve using mindfulness, and they give you some examples. So right now I'm not set any goals, but you can set goals for yourself. And if you go through the training plan, they will ask you to set goals at some point in the training plan. So I'll probably do it through the training plan. And we did the mindfulness mastery test. I showed you all the practice logs. Let's go through expertise real fast. So as I told you, you can go to the training plan if you want, and that will teach you everything. Or if you feel like you want to overachieve and just go through it in even one day, they don't hold you back. You can just go through each and every category and read through it whenever you feel like. So the more you read and more you go through it, the better you'll get at it, obviously. And so we're almost done with level 1. Before I finish level 1, I'll just go to the home, click that home icon, then click the 3 lines on the top left to show you all this. This is where the reminders are. That's why I brought you here. And you can export your user data if you want. And it does have a how to use this app category if anyone else is interested. And this is just where you can set yourself basically reminders for everything. So for when you want to take the test, when you want to do their training plan during the day, when do you want to, if you want to track your goals and practice mindfulness. So with that said, there's only one thing left to do. I've pretty much covered all the categories, and that is practice now is the only thing I've not covered. We will go ahead and practice seated practice to finish level 1 here. But before we do that, I wanted to go into the main part, or what I consider the most important part of the whole app, which is practice now section. And if you notice, there's a recommended favorites and all. So let's go to all category. Now these are the ones that are there. As you can see, awareness of the body, the breath, the senses, mindful eating, listening, looking, walking. So a lot of different things you can do. And I generally choose, depending on my mood, what I want to do from these. But the good thing is, besides this, there's so many more you can download. And if you look at these, they seem like there's only 4 or 5, but in each one there's like so many, you know. So I've not downloaded them. I had them downloaded before, but then I think I had to reset the app. Oh yeah, I had a phone problem, so that's why it was gone. So there's different categories for worrying. For if you look at iRest, they just really get into a whole thing. Yeah, so there's lots here. These are all different practices. So once you download them, it will tell you how much time each one is. One thing I will kind of give you a little warning about: when you download these, they don't stay in the same folders and the categories. So I would say take a screenshot before you download it. So like in MindStride, you should know the ones that are covered. Maybe this doesn't require that much order, but with the iRest ones, like this part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and when you download them, they just like all over the place. They are not categorized like they are right now, and you cannot even see the categories after you download them. So what I would suggest you'll do is open up iRest 1 and just take a screenshot, take 1 or 2 screenshots, or if you want to take the effort of writing it down, because I tried going to the website and finding these on iRest.org to see what order they were in, and once you download them, you don't get to see it anywhere. Like, I could not find it. If anyone can find it, you can put it in the comments and help others out. But I definitely could not find it anywhere. And so I would suggest just taking a picture. So because this is sort of in a certain order to be completed. If you open the video, they sort of talk about that. They talked about you did this, now you're doing this, and you can't follow the order once it's downloaded. So try to take a screenshot before you do. Or if you're not bothered with it and don't mind doing it in any order, just go for it. That's fine too. So with all that done, it's been about 30 minutes here. And I think it's time to do some actual practice, because that's what's going to help the most. So we'll go through a little seated practice together, and I won't take up too much more time, just like a minute or two more, just because I want to explain something in the seated practice when you open it. That's why I want to get into it. Seem to be having a little trouble. There we go. It caught up. It seemed to be stuck here for a little bit. Okay, so getting into seated practice, when you open it, it can give you instructions. If you don't want instructions, you just want to do it because you've done it before, that's fine too. I generally go with the instructions, and they are telling you to practice it for 1 minute, so that's what we'll do. I generally do a 5-minute practice when I go into from here. From practice, if you go into it, it'll make you do a 5-minute practice by default, but obviously you can change the tone that ends at the end of it, and you can choose favorites by pressing the star on the top right. Anytime you have a couple of practices that really helped you out, you can put them into your favorites, which is this category right here. So let's start with the training. Seated practice. I wanted to mainly go through it because I want to not that I'm like want to do it together, that's fine. And also how to save it is a little bit iffy. I have not saved it at times, and then it does not show in your training plan that you did any practice, and there's no way to go back and say, oh, I did that, So just to how to save it, that's the main reason I want to go through it, and obviously practicing it will be good. So let's get started.
Please take a comfortable seat with your eyes closed or gently.
So this is going to be a little bit tricky to get the audio correct, and I hope everyone can hear it.
Please take a comfortable seat with your eyes closed or gently cast your eyes downward and focus softly on a point a few feet in front of you. Rest your hands on your thighs with your palms facing up or down. Feel free to modify the position to fit the current needs of your body and mind. Now gently become aware of your body, bringing non-judgmental awareness to sensations both within and outside of your body. Simply noticing that you are experiencing, without focusing intensely on any particular experience. You are now invited to bring your attention to your breath. Noticing your breathing at the belly or chest. Simply paying attention to the rise and fall as you breathe in and out. Keep returning to sensing your breathing in your chest or belly, with each rise and fall of your breath. If you notice yourself becoming distracted, simply return your focus to the rise and fall of your belly or chest, noticing each breath as it passes in and out of your body.
So now if you just stop and go back and feel that you finished it, that's not how it works. It doesn't save the practice that you just did. So if you press stop or play, that does not matter. It just stops or plays the clouds moving. But what you need to do is press that next icon on the top right side, and then you got to log the exercise. If you just press done also, it doesn't do it as far as I remember. So it's a little tricky because, and I hate to lose my logs of my exercises. Like if you're doing something, you want credit that you did it, and you like to look back at how much you did every day. So 1 or 2 days that show that I missed in between is because of that. So you go to log exercise, and suppose this was, I generally put in some comments. So if this calmed me, I'll write calming. What a emotion it brought, whether it felt stressed, distressed, relaxed, whatever you felt doing it, you put, and then you click save. That's what will save it, and it'll tell you how many days in a row. I think these streaks reset every Monday. So it gives you a streak up to 6 days in a row, and then the 7th day it resets, sort of a thing. So now it's counting the streak of 2 days basically. So yeah, congratulations. We finished the first level of mindfulness training together. And if you continue and go back into mindfulness training, I'm at level 2 now. And if you look at my badges, I'm on the second one. So with that said, that's the end of this video. Again, guys, guys and girls, I should be saying. I'm sorry, just really used to saying guys. Folks, I guess. Again, folks, the video is Mindfulness Coach. And if you like this video, download the app and practice mindfulness. Until next video, thanks for watching.